I'd like to bring to order Community College District 511 Committee of the Whole meeting Tuesday, August 11th. Roll call.
Nelson. Simpson here. Trojan.
Yep, here.
Goldsmith. Cudia.
Yes, here.
Ortiz Espinoza.
Here.
Soltau and Gorski.
Here. So I'd like to entertain a motion to appoint Trustee Simpson as our temporary recording secretary for this evening. Can we have a second on that?
Second.
Seconded by Bob Trojan. Roll call vote.
Simpson, yes. Trojan.
Yes.
Cudia.
Yes.
Ortiz Espinoza.
Yes.
And Gorski.
Yes. Thank you. So you are the recording secretary for this evening. And under new business, I will introduce something to ask that we have an action at the next meeting to make her the recording secretary or take a vote on a recording secretary. But deal with it then. Board member attendance by means of other physical presence. I'm not aware of anybody. Trustee Stoltal will not be here. Trustee Goldsmith or Jenna Goldsmith will not be here. And Trustee Nelson will not be here or calling in. So, communications and public comment. I'd like to mention, first of all, communications that was received by myself, President Spearman, and one other staff member on campus. I can't remember who it was, but Trustee Jenna Goldsmith has resigned her position as Rock Valley College trustee as of 6:52 p.m. August 10th. So we will talk under new business about advancing the appointment fill that vacancy. But that she sent me that note. Then you were copied. Anybody else?
Yes, and Christine Lott.
Okay, Christine Lott. Just for the record, that was the communication that came in via email.
Excuse me, what is Christine Lott?
She is the Director of Employee Relations and HR.
I couldn't quite hear the conversation.
Oh, sorry. Well, you understand that Jenna's resigned.
Yeah, okay. I heard that.
And the email that she sent was sent to 3 people. I just want to be clear for the record how she sent her communication in by email and to. So we all received it. So, and then other communications I have here is from the Greater Rockford Chamber of Commerce. Join us for an 815 Rockin' Eve, August 13th, 2026, 5 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. at the Hard Rock Casino. And it shows a list of events, connection and conversation, welcome and dinner, 2 nights from now, show, cheer to 815. Register at rockfordchamber.com. And it had a number of presenting sponsors, and one of them being OSF Healthcare, amongst other ones. So that was received to Bob Trojan, but directed to the Board of Trustees. So I'm just reading it off here for the record in case, and again, if any of the trustees or anyone is interested, register at rockfordchamber.com, and the event is August 13th. I don't have any other communications or petitions, do we?
And we do not have any communication or petitions in person.
Okay. Recognition of visitors.
I was going to say, just for the record, I am going to that dinner on my own behalf. Not representing the college, but representing me.
Okay, great. Recognition of visitors, none?
No.
Okay. Okay, review of minutes of the Committee of the Whole presented in your packet. Any discussion on it? Okay. General presentations.
No general presentations.
Okay, we have the teaching, learning, communications discussion, and I'll kick that off to whomever. There we go. We got the fiscal year FY 2027 enrollment update.
Good evening, trustees.
Good evening. I want to make a note before I provide the updated numbers that with the SAS migration, we had to create a new process for pulling the enrollment numbers. And in that process, we determined that the previous enrollment ticker was underreporting the previous year's enrollments by taking out students who withdrew or dropped after that date in history. So I just want to be fully transparent on that change. I don't think it's impacted, it would not impact the percent to budget or percent to goal. And if any impact on the change year over year, it would have made the change look more in our favor than it does now. That all being said, as of this morning, we are flat with last year, and we are 99% to budget and 95% to the stretch for fall. If we look at the entire 2 semesters put together, we are 1% down compared to last year, 101% to budget, and 97% to the stretch goal. As you know, this is a time of year where enrollments fluctuate a lot, so we'll continue to monitor that.
So just to be clear, the enrollment in the past will now be slightly more higher?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was accurate last year at the time we reported it, but now that we're looking at history is where the inaccuracies are.
Okay, thank you.
The next agenda item is the engineering program update, which Dr. Pyer is going to kick off, and then I'll come back.
I didn't miss you at all.
And I'd just like to state that part of this, not all of it, was inspired by questions put to the administration from the board, particularly Trustee Trojan.
Thank you. Good evening, trustees. I'll be very brief, and then honestly, Vice President Schneider has the bulk of the information tonight that we're sharing with you regarding the engineering program. Do I have the power here? All right.
Might be in the packet.
There we go. Okay. We wanted to just provide a bit of a leveling of the history of the program, the 2+2 agreement with NIU. So for those that may have this information, great, but most of us probably don't have this. So this conversation with NIU and the partnership and the 2+2 agreement with NIU and Rock Valley really kicked off in August of 2015 with a press conference announcing that the parties were entering into a partnership process between the two institutions to be holding these programs here at Rock Valley College to finish a bachelor's degree. In March of 2016, we started holding informational events for prospective students. And in August of 2016, the language was drafted to include a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering to be completed here at Rock Valley College, post-Associate of Engineering Science degree completion at Rock Valley. They could earn then the Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering at Rock Valley, also in Mechanical Engineering, also in Technology and Applied Manufacturing Technology, with an optional master's program available to be taught here at Rock Valley, Master's in Integrated Systems Engineering with a specialization in Mechatronics and Intelligent Systems. We started recruiting students at that time and started coursework with the AES here at Rock Valley in the fall of 2016 and bringing students into that guaranteed admission agreement. The agreement itself wasn't officially signed until January of 2017. Or spring of 2017. Honestly, I don't know which month. Do you know which month? It was January, February. I think it was actually February, but it's early 2017. And in 2018, the two colleges got back together and revised the agreement to just include the Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. And that was driven by both parties, I believe, from a recruitment standpoint of students and from a faculty concern on the part of NIU. That's a brief history of, and today we offer just the Bachelor of Science in Engineering and Mechanical Engineering at Rock Valley with the NIU program.
Let's pause right there for questions.
Yes,
Make
sir.
sure we're on the same
Yeah,
page.
Bob.
Yeah, on your calendar, I think it's significant to point out that, number one, there was, and I don't know, I forget the numbers, but I think it was a significant amount of capital investment to redo the Woodward Technology Center to accommodate the classes. Number two, there was a humongous fundraising drive to create money for scholarships, and I forget number, 5 million, 4 million. It was a big number. And we had a lot of community, especially the industrial side, leaders who were behind the push, including Woodward, Patel, what's his name, Patel? He's gone. But there was a significant scholarship drive that was part of this program. So those two elements in the calendar should be there at some point, or make note of it.
Okay, we can certainly include those in additional information.
Yeah, thank you.
For historical purpose, that's great. I don't know how it helps us advance any other instructions or directives we might give to President Spearman and your team, and maybe from a historical perspective it works out. I probably shouldn't go out on a, it's not really going out on a limb here, but you'll notice that go back to your the January 18th, the revised articulation agreement between RVC and NIU was signed by former RVC President Douglas Jensen, former Chief Academic Susan Busenbark, and Gina Corona, former Dean of Community, Career, and Technical Outreach. No action was taken by the Board of Trustees to approve that agreement. So that would have been quite in line with President Jensen's way of handling things, not sharing the information with us. And that's why we have, in part, a new president. so sorry, Doug. And no one here is, in part at all, responsible for those decisions made, then. So I want to make sure we're not frustrated with you, or thank you for this clarification, for it. But I think we need to provide kind of guidance going forward after the presentation, what we actually want to do. Because originally it was suggested that, well, what can we do to get one or more of those programs in here? And maybe you're going to mention this, and maybe I'm jumping the gun, but the BS in Technology and Applied Manufacturing Technology is still kind of offered, but it's not offered on campus. It's an online only offering from NIU if you have an applied science, a degree in applied science, and show an interest in manufacturing or have a background in it. That's who they're trying to recruit for it. So any of our graduates that meet those requirements could certainly apply, correct?
Correct.
So there's still kind of two options. It's just not a 2+2 on campus type of thing.
Correct. The on-site is only in mechanical.
Right.
There are other options online, as you've noted.
So, and I want to thank you for your presentation so far. I just want to make sure you know that even though we have suggestions and maybe correct the historical accuracy of it, we appreciate you doing the homework on it, and we know none of you are responsible for how we got to this point today, but you are responsible in part for the successes we go forward, because I actually know a student in the mechanical engineering program. So thank you.
Okay. I'm turning it back to Heather, but I'm staying close.
Okay.
So I think it's important before we consider next steps and where to go from here to understand some of the course taking patterns and successes of the students in this program and how it's working. So if you recall, several months ago and multiple years, I've been presenting to you the program investment report, where we've been looking at the associate and engineering science students and whether or not they continue their education at NIU. And we've talked about, well, maybe that's not providing a complete picture, because we know some of our students will complete the Associate of Science and also go into the NIU program. We also know that some of our students complete the Associate in Engineering Science and then go to other programs aside from the 2+2. So we wanted to have a better understanding of what those patterns really look like. So we looked at all of our degree completers in both of those programs, the Associate in Engineering Science and the Associate of Science, over several years, and then determined whether they transferred and completed. So it's not just if they transferred, but if they actually went somewhere and completed a bachelor's degree. That's the data we're sharing today. So 141 of the associate in engineering science students have transferred and completed a bachelor's degree in engineering somewhere. The majority of those students do go to NIU, and the majority of those students do go into the mechanical engineering program. So you might think of that as the 2+2 agreement that we have. But they also go into other engineering programs at NIU, even though we don't have that 2+2 agreement for those programs. We also have a handful of students that go on to an engineering program and finish that program at other institutions, and I listed those institutions here so you can have ideas of where else students are going. So as we've mentioned before, the Associate of Science students also go into engineering programs. So these students, 97 have transferred and completed bachelor's degrees in engineering. Again, the majority of those end up at NIU, and the majority of those end up in the mechanical engineering program. But these are not 2+2 students because they're not starting in the Associate in Engineering Science program. Instead, they're getting an Associate of Science and going on to the mechanical engineering program. These students also attend other engineering programs and complete those programs at NIU. I also wanted to note where else these students go for engineering. And any institution that had 5 or more completions of bachelor's degrees from our students, I listed them by name. So 9 went to UW-Platteville and completed an engineering degree, 6 completed at the University of Illinois Chicago, and 5 at Iowa State. The 27 is like 1 and 2s at other institutions. So there's a long list, but very few at each of those. So also we want to look at the scholarship awards, because that's also an investment that we've made in our engineering students. There's 2 slides of scholarships. The first one looks at our students in any engineering program. So we have the AES, electronic engineering, manufacturing engineering, technology, et cetera. So over the past 8 years or so, we've awarded almost $590,000 in engineering scholarships. It's important to note that the 2026, 2027 data are incomplete because they just include the first chance, the best chance applications, not the last chance or second chance, whatever we call them. So those numbers will likely go up. And we've awarded 314 unique students those scholarships. If we look at just the engineering 2+2 program, over that same time period, we've awarded almost $500,000 to 114 students. Again, the most current year's data do not include the last chance, so there may be some increases in that information. I do want to provide a note about what's left over for that second chance. So for the second chance, we still have $146,255 still available to award for 2026-27, and $133,395 of those dollars is designated for students in traditional engineering fields with a primary focus on mechanical engineering, and is available for both RVC and NIU at RVC students. So we're still looking to award those additional dollars.
So go back on the numbers of the second chance. How many individuals?
Oh, well, I don't know how many more individuals will apply. We currently have, from the first chance for this particular scholarship for the 2+2, we've awarded 10 individual scholarships, but there's still some funds
10?
on the table.
Did you say 10?
10, yes.
10.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
What was that first figure, 146,000 what?
146,255 left for engineering students.
Right, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So understanding the history of the program and the information we know about how students move on from the program and how we're awarding scholarship dollars, we've identified several next steps. We would like to meet with NIU to determine whether we can expand our 2+2 options, but also explore other options with other institutions. We want to work with donors, and we already have worked with donors to adjust the engineering scholarship opportunities to widen the applicant pool so that more students can take advantage of those dollars that are available. And then also revisit and expand both the recruitment process and the marketing process for this program. That concludes what we have for our presentation. Do you have any questions?
do you have a timeline for your research into your discussions with NIU and/or other possible partners? And I'd just like to say, for the record, we're very excited about the 2+2, partnership that we do have with NIU. So thank you.
One piece of information is that I know that Dean Chase Budziak, who is our partner in this program at
Right.
Rock Valley, has been meeting every few months with his counterpart at NIU regarding our 2+2.
Okay.
And so I know that he has had initial conversations about that. I don't have a timeline personally for that. Dean Budziak or maybe Dr. Sprimmon has had, I have not had a timeline conversation.
We do not have a timeline established. This usually takes over a year
Right.
before you get to an agreement, develop the relationship, get to an agreement, get things signed and approved. But the NIU 2+2 meeting, they stop meeting during the summertime. So the next meeting will happen in September. And Dean Busniak and I plan to attend that meeting. And from there, we could maybe start the discussion and then come back to the board and say, this is where they're at and this is what we're thinking. And then we can identify one or two schools to go to see if they're interested in this now. But I just want to make sure we understand there's a difference between NIU 2+2 program
Right.
and just establishing a 2+2 agreement. All right, there's a
Right.
difference. Those, the 2+2 agreement is just, it's a transfer agreement between Rock Valley College and that four-year institution, and they're confirming in advance that if they take these classes, they could transfer, have a seamless transition into the university to graduate within the 4 total years.
Right.
But that NIU 2+2 option, if we're seriously considering that, then that means we would have to give up more classroom space for another four-year institution to come in to teach on our campus.
And both of these options are kind of expanded versions or tighter agreement versions to things. I believe in the course catalog, you have things that are noted that are transferable,
Yes.
right? Okay, so
Yes.
this is it gives better clarification to the student going forward that there's a clear path, and that's what we're looking for.
2+2 is a
too.
clear path.
And so I think it's reasonable, you're not going to give us a plan, okay? Just give us an update on any discussions at the November cow. Well, is that
works.
reasonable?
Yes.
Just an update on discussions. I'm not asking for a plan or a plan of a plan. As I've mentioned in the last few months, don't promise anything, don't wing it, okay? Just do your best and let us know. And I think that's reasonable, because I know these things take time. But stick to that deadline guideline, because I know, even though Trustee Nelson's not here, but both Trustee Nelson and Trustee Trojan were kind of anxious about this. So I think a November timeframe. Will that keep you happy, Bob?
Unless you could do it sooner. But I have some.
Okay, direct that to me. Don't direct it. These
Well,
people are doing the
I'm
best
looking
they
at
can,
both of
all
you.
right?
But I do have some comments.
Okay, go ahead.
Number one, I do appreciate your digging into this thing and getting more factual and so on. I mean, clearly, this was a big program 10 years ago, and if you read the things going on in the state of Illinois, there is a bit of a push to have four-year college courses offered at community colleges now. And we were the leaders 10 years ago, so we don't want to give that up. Number two is I would suggest maybe your contact to talk with Gary Smith, who is the NIU outreach manager, I guess they call him. NIU is also a sponsor at our robotics program, and he was again there Saturday when we had our tournament, and we spoke a bit, and he said that last year their engineering enrollment was up 10%, and he says it'll likely be up 10% again this year. And I said, well, how is that happening? He says, I'm out there all the time, beating the bushes. bringing, he's out there recruit, that's his job. And Bernie Lewick, who used to be a employee of here, he works with him too. So maybe those two people can be contacts on helping you recruit for us here at Rock Valley.
Well, we do work together.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we work together on that, and Dr. Pyer's team still out there recruiting the engineering students as well. And keep in mind, the mechanical engineering program is still a solid program at NIU. They have strong numbers. We dipped a couple of years ago, where we were at like 35 or something, and we don't know really why, other than maybe post-COVID, but we don't really have a reason, because since then, the numbers are back increased and steady where they're supposed to be at. The original numbers that we gave you were focused on the AES program, and then we didn't realize how many students were opting out of the AES program and focusing on AA or AS, and still with an engineering focus. So now we're trying to figure out a way that we can capture those, but when we look at the information, the engineering students or the clearinghouse doesn't say the specific major, it just says the degree. So you can't separate it that way to see the numbers cleaner than what we're providing at this point in time. But we will continue to work with NIU, and we will meet with them in September, and we will share that back by November to say if there's any updated initiatives or plans or any other partnerships that we discuss.
Yeah. Well, I think it's good that you're digging into it like you are. Thank you.
Well, possible we could partner with our own theater department, or if you have a textile department, to get us some lassos, and Bob and I will just simply rope them in and bring more students into the program. How about that, Bob?
That's what it takes, yeah.
Okay, Bob. But thank you very much, and we expect we would appreciate an update in November of just where you are in discussions, even that we had an initial meeting, second meeting, whatever. So that would be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, just one other small, NIU, the ones that take the junior and senior year are eligible for our scholarships.
That was the second table.
Yeah.
Some of those are available.
Okay, thank you.
Which is cool. And I know that was a concern of Trustee Trojan, so. All right, we have information only, FY 2027 adult learner enrollment in the package. Any questions?
I thank you. This is a nice report. Look forward to seeing it updated, but maybe you could add the numbers on the bottom. Just total them up.
Oh, the total.
But yeah, I think it's a good report to keep track of this particular element. Yeah, it's good.
Any other questions? Well, we'll move on to finance then.
All right.
Trustee
Ms.
Cadena?
Olson, thank you.
Good evening. An unusual event happened this month. No purchase reports.
Woo-hoo!
We even double-checked. There are no purchase reports.
I think you would know, wouldn't you?
I would know, but
This would be a good month to add that Hawaii trip then.
Well, we're going to talk about that under new business and how we're going to fund that. So there you go.
anyway, I'm here to present the cash and investment report this evening. So operating cash and investments decreased about $8.3 million from June to $106.6 million as of July 31st. Revenue continues to come in from tuition, property taxes in the state of Illinois. However, that was offset by vendor payments of $10.2 million and $2.5 million in payroll. The vendor payments included the annual IT subscriptions, which included Elution for $691,000, our liability insurance premium of just over $1 million, among several other annual renews as we began our new fiscal year. We also received and processed pay applications for several construction projects that included the Health Sciences Center, the Athletic Field Turf projects, and Downtown West. There is nearly $4 million for Downtown West that was reimbursed from capital funds during the month of August that did not occur in July. So the percent of operating cash and investments at the end of July was 98.45%, Keep in mind, this is now compared to the new fiscal year 27 budget and not the old one that you were seeing last year. Working cash funds increased $503,000 as we received documentation supporting the reimbursement for the transfer from the Public Health and Safety Funds that was set aside years ago for the HSC elevator. And the capital fund increased from $58.7 million to $59.2 million due to the receipt of property taxes and interest. Any questions?
Well, and I don't want to start the formal discussion on this now. I'm just going to ask this question, and I just want a yes or a no answer on it. Have we ever, to your knowledge, transferred funds or borrowed funds from any endowment dollars?
No.
Thank you. So we got that question answered in advance of new business, Bob. So there you go. Anything else? Fund and cash and investment? Any questions?
Nope. Other than that, in your package is the quarterly report of purchase reports from between $10,000 and $25,000, which is informational.
Okay. Any questions on that? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Trustee Nelson had wanted to bring forward a discussion of an internal auditor services, and unfortunately, he had a family event that he had to divert to this evening. So I'll take over and at least start the discussion on this. So information was provided in your packet, plus I thought I sent some information to be in the packet from our external auditor, Sickage, and I might have missed that attachment as part of it. But an internal auditor, compared to our external auditor, Sickage, would be one that could review a number of different things that are internal processes or how we're interacting with certain other government mandates, but specifically reviewing financial controls, whether they're adequate, and then actually kind of what they quote testing them, which would help the board kind of answer our external auditors' questions of, do you feel like the college is following internal financial controls properly? Well, it's kind of hard to know unless you're actually living and breathing it or having somebody review it. Now, there are different ways to go about engaging an internal auditor and what they would look at. There's a report in your package which includes a number of different categories of things an internal auditor would look at. But for example, we're already doing one of them in a way, because one of them is a computer or a technology internal audit, but we already kind of have that going on with our with a partnership or a contracted service that we have for a virtual chief information officer. And I just want to have a wave from the back. Is that going pretty good? Thumbs up. So, and that's good. I mean, so we're already getting that handled as part of this type of internal auditing type of feature. The one difference there is that they're reporting up through a structure through the administration, and then some of the internal auditing auditors in different agencies and different governments are reporting up through the two leadership chains, the boards and the chief executive officer kind of jointly. But just so they're not reporting as staff to somebody that might be, and I don't want to sound negative, under the thumb of somebody other than the larger body. Even our Sickage, Lindsay Fish, is it? Sent me an email stating what the basic difference is between internal audit and external, and that because Sickage is currently engaged as our external auditor, would be a conflict of interest to have an internal auditor. But very often, since they look at different things, the information learned from the internal auditor can be shared with the external auditor in terms of their larger reviews of our overall practices. For example, I think it was Trustee Trojan and I were interviewed by Sickage this time around instead of all of us. And some of the questions are like, I don't know. I'm not reviewing the books or how the P cards. Ellen gave us a very nice overview of financial controls, 2 months ago? Something like that. It was fairly recent. Yeah, and you've done it before, and thank you for that. But for us, we don't have a way of testing it, and it's not our job to do it every day. So what Trustee Nelson was hoping was that we would continue discussion to take a look at how an internal auditor, what of those internal controls an internal auditor might do, or some of the items that are mentioned in this multi-page document that Trustee Nelson provided to us. I also have a checklist, which is about 2 pages long, provided by the internal auditors of Illinois, what they typically look at different units of government, and I can send that out to you just to continue the discussion. But essentially, it's looking at kind of the day-to-day operations, making sure the controls that Ellen outlined are adequate, and then develop methods for testing them. And you can go at that a number of different ways, but you can also either hire some people internally to do it, or you can hire a firm to do it. Sickage didn't have a recommendation about either or necessarily, and they couldn't recommend a firm that would do it because I already had named a couple of the big players out there. But if we proceeded with something like this, I would lean towards a firm or an agency that we could employ 1 year and maybe skip another or something like that, so we wouldn't necessarily be locked down to just that individual staff member or members for the service. And it's really a way, it's just a double check in terms of an extension of our 2 major responsibilities as a board: policy and fiduciary controls. And this is an extension, an internal auditor would be an extension of our fiduciary controls, and go towards good policy and making sure that financial controls that are in place are being followed and are adequate. I'll take questions starting down here.
I guess you mentioned you did some research. In that research, I know there are internal auditors in both public and private entities.
Right.
Did you run across anything that determined how community colleges or any university, how many are?
Well, I found in the state of California, there's a whole association of internal auditors just for colleges.
Okay.
And then in Illinois, there are some institutions that have them. A lot of government agencies do. And I
Right.
found a specific resolution from the City Colleges of Chicago detailing their internal auditing department. Now, they created a department and they have 2 or 3 people in there, and the board by resolution determined the need for an internal auditor and the creation of an internal department. But it appears that we should probably do more research to find out whether or not that would actually, does that give us the flexibility, because the first year we do this, it would be kind of a trial run anyway. And if we farm the service out to an appropriate agency, then if we didn't like how the process was, we could change it and change the agency. But I didn't realize in Illinois that there were so many, that all these other units of government have internal auditors. And there's an association of internal auditors individuals, and they have 2 different sections just in northern Illinois, one for Chicago and then the northwest suburbs, and they got a southern one and another one. I didn't, I was familiar with actuaries, but I didn't realize there were so many internal auditors, out there doing this type of work. The problem I see us having would be finding somebody. Sickage would do this if they weren't already employed as our external auditor. Other vendors include Baker Tilly, Whipfly, but those are kind of bigger players and bigger names, and I don't know how much those would cost. I did reach out to both of those agencies, and they said, yes, we'd love to talk to you. How about tomorrow? I said, no. We're a couple of months out before even, talking about it. We need to talk about this as a board and see if it's even a direction that we want to go. But my desire would probably find a smaller firm and just focus on the financial control part of it. Some of the other aspects that is listed in the detailed report in the packet might be a little bit chewing off too much at the beginning of the process. Let's start off small with our all internal controls and then move forward. Plus, we're already addressing one of the controls mentioned in that report in terms of IT, so we can check that one off our list. So there you go.
Okay, well,
So,
thank you.
Bob, any questions?
Yeah, looking at that report that's in the packet with all the different options, one's got to say, well, how do I know which one to pick? Is there a problem? What defines the problem that we need the auditor for? I guess that would be my go-to thing, is just to have an auditor, to me, doesn't make sense. But if we suspect something isn't quite right, then yeah, we should have an auditor.
And so I'd like Trustee Nelson and hopefully Trustee Soltow to chime in on that. So I'm asking that for discussion only, put internal auditor discussion only on the next meeting, so we can continue the discussion. And I'll cap that at a certain amount of minutes, and I will let Trustee Nelson know we're capping it at a certain amount of minutes, so, because it will not be an actionable item, okay? At the next board meeting, yeah. I just want to keep the discussion moving along in little bits. You know what we're finding out, we got this big old packet. I'm going to send you this checklist, and there's a lot there. And as Trustee Trojan pointed out, what do we actually want to focus on? So I think that the goal at the next meeting would be, let's just pick one or two things and see what Trustee Nelson thinks that we should focus on, and then center the discussion around that. We've already limited one. Take the IT stuff off the table, and then let's see what else we can take off the table and narrow it down.
And to Gloria's point, I would like to do a little research too as to like what all the community colleges of our size and in Illinois do as well.
But I'll also send you the resolution, and I'll copy Matt and Joe with the City Colleges of Chicago resolution that creates it and identifies how their structure of it. It's pretty cleanly written, a lot of space, small paragraphs. It's a real easy read. I really like it. It's really well crafted. So it's not really dense. So we'll end the discussion at this point now unless somebody has questions, and we'll just continue it at a limited format at the next regular meeting. All right?
Sounds good.
All right, thanks. Operations discussion, Trustee Trojan. And I just want to let people know, I did ask him to bump up the downtown west and the change orders to the top, because I like I like getting my meat and potatoes done first. I always eat my salad last. I get the meat done first. So.
Dessert
Nice to know.
first.
Well, good evening, Board. It's nice to know I'm the meat and potatoes. I'd like to give you an update on the downtown campus. I'm going to give you a brief verbal update, nothing in writing, because the last 2 weeks have been very fluid, particularly when it comes to downtown. We're currently working this week on tying up loose ends that are going to be completed this week. We have some painting that's going on, some flooring, and a little bit of base work that still needs to be finished. And we continue to hook up all the equipment and FF&E products that we had purchased to go into the new spaces. And we are definitely doing a fair amount of cleaning. We have passed, and I say this very happily, we have passed both elevator inspections. Both elevators are up and operational, and we passed the fire alarm inspection. So we did receive all of the certifications and notifications that we passed everything so that we can move into the building, which we are very grateful for. That being said, we have moved personnel into the building from the different locations. They are all working right now on unpacking and getting things situated and continuing to get comfortable in their spaces. We actually moved them in last week. This week, we've actually had community members who have come into the building looking for services with the different areas, and they've been able to get the information, and people are starting to get settled in. So we're very happy about that. We do have what's called a punch list. For those of you who aren't familiar with construction, a punch list is a list of items that we go through and we find that we don't like or weren't quite done the way they should be, and we make a list, and then the contractor comes back through and works on that list to clean it up. This
Mr.
punch
Dax,
list,
excuse me, just going back to, you say personnel has moved in. Does that mean that the folks at the old Register Star building are out of there now and those at Supply Corps? Because part of the reasoning for our being in this new facility is consolidation.
correct.
So
Yeah, so,
Are they
yes.
out now?
The people are moved out, but not downtown, because downtown, or not down. Thank you, not Supply Corps 303 North Main, because that's a grant program that's a little bit different. So they were never, they're still there, but yes, everyone else has moved into the location.
Okay, thank you.
Denstrom and downtown campus, those personnel have moved in.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So we will continue with what's called the punch list, which is, like I said, items that need to be corrected over the next couple of weeks. That's perfectly normal. And we're going to continue to do what's called balancing and adjustments to the HVAC, or the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. We're working on cleaning all the areas and getting ready for the ribbon cutting, which is Friday, August 14th, just as a reminder to everyone. I also wanted to mention that we're looking forward to having the board tours tomorrow for those of you who are going to be coming out. I look forward to being there and showing the board members through the buildings and seeing how nice they actually are. We've gotten a lot of compliments.
Good.
In
We don't have
addition,
to wear helmets or anything?
no helmets, no
Okay.
nothing. No, it's
She was really
We're
looking
good to go.
forward to that. you
yeah.
know.
If you'd like a helmet, let me know and I'll make sure we have one there.
Thank you.
Give her a helmet.
Okay, no,
my hair.
you're all right. All right. Otherwise, we could probably get one.
Thank you.
I want to mention the contingency log. It's in your packet. We're in good shape. We're at approximately 700,000, which is a very small amount of contingency used for a project of this size. You can see the list in your packet for the different items. We will still have some additional change orders that will be coming in for different items as we do the final push to get things completed. But overall, I think we're doing well. I did want to take this moment to thank my team for all their hard work on this project, for business services and Karen's team for doing all of the purchasing of all the items that needed to be done. We've all been working very hard on that. To POM and Janet and Jimmy and their team for all their help in moving people and getting things done and doing so many items that I can't even mention. PD for helping out with all the security technology and all the items they're doing, and just for being welcoming at the new building and making people feel comfortable and safe. And for IT and John and his crew for all that they've done to help set up the equipment and get people situated in their spaces, get the networks going, get the Wi-Fi going, and get all that technical stuff done. All of us have been putting in very long hours over the last couple of weeks, and I'm very proud of my team. So I just wanted to say thank you to them.
We appreciate them too.
Thank you.
And I would be remiss without actually throwing in project management. Vicki and Tim, who have been helping with the project management and keeping things straight and keeping me straight from going crazy. And for Tracy, helping with the administrative side of things in our office and keeping me definitely from going crazy. So, do you have any questions about the
I think it
downtown?
goes without saying that you deserve a round of applause. Because I know several months ago, we were hand-wringing, anticipating a delay in the project, and you rolled up your sleeves and decided to work on this thing full-time and put your efforts behind it. So kudos to you, too.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Any other questions or concerns for downtown?
Well, I mean, his retirement was dependent on it, so really. So.
Well, he came through.
50
came through.
days. There is another item. Oh, it's the athletic field turfs. We are working on that project also. We have completed the baseball fields, and they are currently working on the softball fields, actually laying the turf, I guess would be the best way to describe it. And as soon as they finish that, then they will move over to the soccer field. That's what I'm trying to say, the soccer field, and be working on that. So we are making progress on that. We do had a couple of change orders as it relates to some concrete around the soccer field. For the visiting section, we had to add the way that the field laid out, we had to change the angle and level it off better so that we had a place to put people for viewing the soccer game in a manner that wasn't unsafe for them. So, but overall, the project is moving forward. We do see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we don't think it's a train, and we're hoping that we'll be done by mid-August, hopefully, providing we don't have any additional weather issues.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
Questions?
Sounds good.
The
I want to
next-
make a comment on downtown West when he's done with everything.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir. I'm done.
Well, I just noticed it's on the agenda for the foundation tomorrow, but, you know, they host the family breakfast every quarter or so. Well, the next one is going to be October 1st at downtown West.
Oh, I didn't know
The
that, but
family
that's wonderful.
breakfast, which is retirees and alumni and whatever. So,
Gee, I can go as a
and it's open to
retiree.
everybody. It's open to the trustees, and it's kind of a nice event. It'll be downtown, though, October 1st.
Your smile gets bigger as we get closer to September. What's going on here?
October 1st will be my
October
first day of
1st, isn't it?
retirement. I'll have to come to the breakfast.
Is that your birthday?
Okay.
All right, I turn the next item over to my colleague, Ellen Olson.
All right, thank you.
The next item is the 2027 calling the election for the members of the Board of Trustees. The election will be held August 6th, 2027. The first day to circulate petitions is August 25th, and those can be picked up in the Financial Services Office. The due date for the petitions is November 16th, between November 16th and November 23rd.
When's
Any
the election
questions?
day again?
April.
You said August, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, they're
Oh.
pulling the packets early.
April 6th.
Yeah. Okay, just making
2027.
sure. Just making sure we got the right date. So,
I
August
had heard
6th,
August, too.
2027 for the election.
April
Polling-
6th.
Yeah, polling packets any day now, okay? And it's for three seats now.
It will be for 3 seats now.
It'll be for 3 seats now,
So we'll be redlining this because it says 2, but
right.
now that we have 3.
Is it for 3 or 2?
It'll be 3. Be the seat that John holds, the seat that
Yeah.
Crystal holds, and
Yeah.
the seat that Jenna vacated. It will
So
be
I
up
thought
for
that her-
election.
I thought the replacement would serve out the whole term.
No,
No?
to serve through the next available
Okay, I
election
just-
because you can circulate packets now, so you fall into it and you can circulate for
So there'll be 3 seats open.
3 seats open.
Okay.
And the third seat will be for a 4-year term, correct? To finish Jenna's.
Yes, yeah, it'd be for a 4-year term.
Okay.
Right.
That's it.
So I have a point on this election thing. Just in case you stumble across an article in the Voice magazine, which is the Chamber's and monthly magazine, I had asked the Angela, the CEO, if they have a leadership program where they have 15, 20 people that, you know, during the course of a year, they teach them all about what's going on in Rockford. I wondered, Angela, do you do anything about running for office? Because, you know, I've seen it in Rock Valley's case, the number of applicants like this through the years. I mean, you know, we get 4 or 5, and usually 2 or 3 are incumbents. I look at the political scene, it's the same thing, getting people to run for office. I said, do you do anything to teach these people about running for office? And she said, no, but why don't you write an article about it? So it's in the Voice magazine. If you so desire to read it, you can, but I just want to make that point as to what the background of why it's there. It's because I was asked, because I complained about them not having some instruction for these up-and-coming management gurus.
Well, I don't know about you, Bob. I ran in one election, they had, 12 or 14 candidates. So it must be that people, if they don't like me, you know, they'll run against, everybody will run against me. So, but I clean their clock every time, so there you go.
So anyway, okay.
It's okay. But we have 3 openings this time around, so I'm sure there'll be at least that many, if not more, filing for it. I think as people learn about RVC, they get excited about it, so and they want to be part of the excitement. So. And yeah, like I sound excited, but other people would be excited about it. So, any other questions on that? Okay.
I think we're good.
And then, so we got a board policy update.
Good evening, trustees. I have the
Good
honor to
evening.
stand before you this evening to present to you the first reading for Article 4, which is covering students. Just as a review of the process, we have gone through and reviewed the policy with, there we go. We have gone through and reviewed the policy with Robin Schwartz, and from that red line version that we have received, our campus leaders have reviewed each policy just to make sure that it is aligned with our practices and that there aren't questions or concerns. Once we have reviewed that, it goes back to Robin Schwartz for a final review, and then it's presented to you. And so that is where we are at this evening. In addition, while we are reviewing, we have been making sure that we are updating administrative procedures that are available on the public website. I believe at the end of last week, you received a video summary just detailing the changes that have been made. And we encourage you that as you have reviewed the video and the information that we have tonight, that if you have questions or if you have concerns or want to make suggestions, that you present those to the Office of the President. The second reading will take place next month, and then we will determine whether a vote will occur or whether it needs to be extended for further consideration. Any questions on the process before we move forward?
We'll schedule the second reading pending the appointment of a new trustee, okay? Okay, I just want to make sure the new trustee is involved in this is early on, yeah, so, I mean, may as well, more eyes on it, so. I hate to have all the exciting stuff, the building, the board policy updates all done, and the trustee's going to go, what am I going to do until the spring? So thank you did anybody have any questions at this point on this?
No, I just think it's a good way to present the changes with the video. That was quite much better than reading it, frankly.
Thank you.
Yep, I agree. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We will continue on. Just as an executive summary, as with our previous articles, we want to always make sure that we're updating any legal acts or employment statutes, anything with regard to student laws. Those things would be updated within this policy. We do want to make sure that we are being efficient as well, so we're looking at grammatical errors, ways that we can continue to improve those efficiencies, and you've seen that all in the video. Additionally, we want to make sure that our board numbers match our college records. We're using accurate titles as we've had changes over the years. Some of those titles need to be adjusted and changed, and that aligns with the functions of the college. With regard to this section, one of the things that we're looking at is that there is an alignment with our student handbook. As you know, with Article 3, it was with the employee handbook and just making sure, but now with the student handbook, we took some time to be able to compare and contrast and make sure that what's in the student handbook is aligned with what's in the board policy and there isn't conflicting information. And so that's really important. I wanted to point that out. I will point out too as well that we have had some policies that we have deleted from particular sections because we want to make sure that it's applicable to the entire college community, and so not just students. And you'll see in a minute that those policies we're recommending their deletion from this section because they're already in operations and have been approved.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Additionally, moving on, I would like to just add that we have taken a lot of time to work on administrative procedures, and 37 administrative procedures were either created and or revised within this section. And so that is just our attempt to make sure that our policies are transparent and forthcoming to our entire community.
Good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then on this slide, I'd like to point out the policies that I mentioned. So non-discrimination, prohibiting sex-based misconduct, cultural excellence and belonging, and service and other animals are the 4 policies that we are recommending that are deleted from students because they will already exist in operations, which means that it applies to not only students, but to students, employees, and the community. And so when we've made that change, it's not that we're saying they're not important. We just want to make sure that they're in the right area so that everybody who could be impacted by
It's
it.
more inclusive.
Yes, it's more inclusive. Thank you.
Very good.
And then with regard to next steps, as I stated before, we're conducting the primary and secondary readings this month and next month. And if we need to extend it, we will. That will be evaluated, and applying and presenting any requested changes that you may have to these board policies. And then once we receive a final approval, we will communicate the presence of that to our community, and we will work with our marketing team to make sure that everything is updated on the website. Additionally, we will begin working on looking at and reviewing Article 5, which is finance, to begin the same steps of the process.
Questions? Okay,
If there are
good.
no other questions, I do have two specific policies that I would like to point out to you, so I'm going to go to them. First is on slide 16. Slide 15, excuse me, and that is international students. One of the things that I wanted to point out is within our policy, we use what is called the live-in guest status. And what that status means is that for our international students that are coming to our campus, if they reside with a citizen of the United States that lives within the RVC district, then they are able to complete a form and indicate so, which will give them in-district tuition. And so it is a cost-saving measure for them to provide them the opportunity that they are staying with someone from in-district. And so my ask of you this evening is to consider whether we want to continue that practice or not, and that would be reflected in the board policy.
You're asking the board if we want to continue that policy?
Correct.
Okay, and what's the recommendation?
It would be that we would continue it.
Okay, and is it consistent with other community colleges in Illinois?
That is a great question. I'm going to phone a friend and Dr. Patner.
You don't have to, again, you don't have to give me an answer now. Don't wing it.
I am not going to give you an answer now because I'm currently not aware of others that have this specific of a policy, but I'm happy to look into it.
Yeah, and that's fine. We're good with that. Thank you very much, though.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. And then the other policy that we will review for your consideration specifically is the senior citizen tuition for credit classes policy. Currently, the way the policy reads, if a student is between the ages of 62 to 64, they are charged $25 per credit hour for tuition. If they are 65 or above, they are charged no fee for tuition. And so one of the things we wanted to come to you to ask is if we want to keep that as is, or if we would like to lower that amount for $0 for tuition to 62.
What's the staff's recommendation?
We want to continue to encourage all of our students at any age, so we would be in favor of it.
We would what?
We would be in favor of it.
Of zero?
Yes,
$0.
for 62 and up.
Okay. I don't know if I can vote on that because I fit right into that, and I could go into that mechanical engineering program, you know? Before I die, I could have a degree in that. So anybody have any questions or comments on going from $25 a credit hour to $0 for that age group?
Correct. Ages 62 to
Right.
64.
Do you have any idea how much revenue the college would lose?
I do not, but we can look into
Okay.
it.
I mean, it probably fingers, you know, you can just multiply. I can't imagine you're losing too much.
And what I can tell you is that during a summer session or during a winter session, some of those shorter sessions, we average in that age group anywhere from 1 to 2 students. And during fall and during spring, we average 27 students
Yeah, like
per
I said,
semester.
count numbers on your fingers. I mean, multiply it times 25, so. It's probably involves more money in paperwork to track it than it does than what we're getting from it. So, you have a question, Bob, or comment?
I know this is for credit classes for seniors, but it kind of begs the question about non-credit charges and CLR charges, because they're in that category too. So you're distinguishing a group of seniors, these pay, these don't pay. Does that present any kind of a challenge or problem?
Are you asking if there's a discrepancy between the credit and the non-credit
Yes.
charges?
Yes.
Okay.
That is a great question that we would have to discuss, and I'd have to get you the finalization of what that really means, what the impact is. I don't know that at the moment.
Yeah, because if I'm a senior, I can take credit, at no charge. I go to CLR and I got to pay. Or if I take a, continuing ed, I got to pay. Just a question you got to look into.
Sure.
And Bob and I are going to enroll in mechanical engineering together.
What?
No.
Well, I
you-
already
see,
got
you're-
my ME degree.
You already got your degree.
I already got my ME degree.
So, all right. So if you come back to us with an answer on that question, we can probably give you guidance on the question before us. Do we go for the 62 to 64 from 25 to 0, or increase it, or somewhere in between? And my personal preference, unless it's drastically inconsistent with the, CLR, then I'd say 0. But let us know. So appreciate it.
Yes.
Any other items that you need to bring to our attention for our
Not
input?
at this time, no.
Not at this time? All right. Any other questions so far? All right. Thank you.
I just want to make a
Go
comment.
ahead.
I mean, I took a CLR class this summer, actually, and I found $25 went a long way because I learned AI. So I'm good with that. So $25 anytime is good.
Thank you.
Any other comments? All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, Board. I'm back
Hello.
for the personnel report. As you can see in your personnel report, we have 3 full-time faculty positions that are up, one in nursing, one in English, and one in welding that they are working on trying to fill at this particular time. And then the 4th position is the Director of Career Services, which is a full-time administration position. Any questions on the appointment side?
No.
No? Thank you.
And we have one departure in the nursing full-time faculty position, and that departure was effective August 3rd, 2026.
Oh, I guess one question on the appointment for the English faculty. Are we talking about former trustee? Is that
Is
going to
it-
be filled in with our former trustees?
We don't know yet.
All
Can't
right.
speak to it.
Can't
Yeah.
speak to it? Okay, very good. Okay.
The next item that on is for the events calendar. I want to remind the board members that next week is the first week of classes. And so that's always a special time here at the college. And we'll have a lot of students that will be coming in and getting used to the campus. So the first week of class is we don't entertain the students much because they've got a lot of things going on. But the second week is welcome week. And that's when Dr. Pyer's crew goes crazy. So there are a lot of events in the calendar related to new student welcome events throughout the week, club involvement fairs and other items related to the beginning of the year. I know they often have blow-up things, games, and all kinds of creative items that will be going on. So if you do have an opportunity to come out during Welcome Week, it is actually a very fun time, and it's often very entertaining.
Good.
Did I miss an email about signups then for when the new students, how we used to sign up at the doors? And
Yeah,
how you
that's
get- okay.
that's coming up.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or
Any
concerns?
other questions? Gloria.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, on August 17th,
Mm-hmm.
can you explain what the Welcome Week Goose Chase is?
You know, I am so glad you asked that question because I was looking at it this morning in the cabinet meeting, and I said, somebody has to explain to me what that is. And what it really is we run around and chase geese. No, I'm just kidding. My understanding
Again?
is it's a scavenger hunt type
It's a
situation.
scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I asked about that myself also. So,
I thought it was just trying to avoid their,
well, that could be a good game too.
Well, Gloria, actually, by coincidence, my nickname in grade school and high school was Goose. So if they want to chase me, it wouldn't be very hard to catch me, 'cause I'm very slow at this age. So I don't know what you would win other than, hi, but, there you go.
But it is a scavenger hunt that
Okay.
it sounds like they've done before. Is that correct?
I saw that when I was going through, and it's like, what on earth?
All right.
It's fun.
Any other questions on, no, thank you very much. So, Rock Valley College events done, other business, unfinished business. I'd like to address a topic that we've brought up previously and asked for guidance for it. We asked for guidance on what it would take to kind of grow the aviation program at the airport. I am asking for a report no earlier than the November cow on that one, all right? No earlier than that. If you can't get us something then, let me know. I know Trustee Trojan would like it today, probably. I know that, you're going into, he's got classes starting right now. Rick's got somebody transitioning with him to his role and stuff, so I don't think it's fair to, you've got a lot of moving parts and pieces, and even if you don't think November's fair, let me know too, but I'm just saying, it's an update, kind of like that other report, just an update where you're at on the process. Okay, is that fair? Okay, and I want somebody in IT to show me how I can get a AI thing to circle his face every time he smiles or giggles at something. I'm just kind of catching stuff, and I'm like, what the heck's going on tonight? What am I saying that's so funny? Nothing. All right. Any other unfinished business for you?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
I was just overdoing the smile, that's
AI.
Well, under unfinished business, and Trustee Simpson was alluding to it, next week is the first week of the semester, and as is tradition, we are inviting trustees to serve as a welcome greeter on the main campus for Monday, August 17th, or Tuesday, August 18th, or both days if you decide to. You may greet them for an hour or spend additional time throughout the day greeting students. Just let Ann Kerwitz know the days and times you want to volunteer, beginning as early as 7:30, ending by 5:30. We have different locations throughout the campus, and once you inform us of the time and day, we will identify the locations on the form and make sure that you, we already have other people that are there, but we just want to make sure you connect with other people. If students ask you questions, you feel comfortable asking those questions. Again, we ask if you decide to do it for at least an hour, but if you decide to do it for a half day, whole day, or Monday only, or both Monday and Tuesday, that is definitely fine. Just let us know.
Okay.
What was the date again? We don't have to chase any geese or anything, right?
No, you might have to step around the goose stuff, but you don't have to chase any. But next Monday and Tuesday, this coming Monday and Tuesday.
Okay, right.
Right?
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. Next, I want to talk about, I know we mentioned the Downtown West Campus tours. I believe some of us are already scheduled for those, but if some of you are still planning to do it and you have not connected with Ann yet, please let her know tonight that you're planning to be there. We just want to make sure we just split it up with trustees, 2, 2, and 2. That's all. Okay?
Very good.
And those times are 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 2 o'clock, I believe are those times. All right? We also mentioned the ribbon cutting. All is well. We are truly hoping that all trustees plan to attend Friday, August 14th at 10 a.m. We're also asking that you RSVP just because Jennifer would like to have some type of head count knowing how many people are coming and things like that. Right now, we have probably about 230, I believe, people are interested. So that's good.
You happy?
That's good. That's great.
If it's too many, I don't have to show up.
No. And I'm happy to report that our chair will be also speaking on Friday. So we're looking forward to that.
I don't know if you like what I have to say, but hey, it's okay.
And then,
Where's Jen?
also, speaking of our chair, just a reminder, Chairman Gorski has previously announced the board retreat will be held on Saturday, January 23rd, 2027. Once again, please save the date on your calendar. He and I have already begun discussions regarding the retreat agenda. We look forward to sharing it with you at a future date.
Jeez, treat already.
23rd?
Well, think about it. I mean, he was thankful, I guess, thank you, I guess, for bringing it up. It's just, it's August, but all of a sudden it's September, October, you got to actually plan for stuff. You got the holidays. I mean, really, I wouldn't do it any later than right now. So it's good that we're working on it. We'll be talking more about it next week, and we'll bring some ideas, to y'all. So
That's it for unfinished business.
now
Can
I have
add something else?
Go ahead.
I think it'd be helpful to remind folks that in November and December, depending on the days, the holiday weeks, that our board meetings might change a little bit, so that they can just be on the lookout for those
Yep.
dates. So,
Our board meeting dates are posted on the website for anybody who is viewing the meeting remotely or YouTube or whatever. So if you need for clarification, you can check the RVC website under board information and board meeting dates. And then for new business, I just want to make sure we put on the agenda. I know I can do this meeting to meeting until we fill a vacancy, but I'd like to put on the agenda filling the vacancy in recording secretary on the next meeting. I'm going to ask for nominations to have Kristen do it. And I'm hoping to just make quick work of it and then just have it taken care of. And then we'll see once we get the new trustee how things pan out. And then he's already hit the retreat, so I don't need to talk about that.
You said next meeting, so you're talking to the board meeting?
Yeah, the next regular board meeting,
Okay.
put that on the agenda. And then the vacancy created by Jenna's resignation, we have to fill within 60 days, and we're going to be following it per, if you want to see, and I can send it to you too, RVC Board Policy 1:10:020, membership of the board under Section 5, vacancies until the end of the document. And essentially, we have some flexibility in doing this other than we have a 60-day kind of time limit, and we're announcing the vacancy today. So we got to get going on it. And my preference, and it's a preference, and we can talk about this at a future meeting, and we'll probably have a closed session at the next meeting to discuss this then. I'd be interested in entertaining people that want to fill the vacancy that aren't interested and won't be filing for the 3 spots that are open. Somebody that's just willing to hold the seat, do public service until the spring, and let the elections play out without a possible candidate being preferred over another. And we can talk about it, but that's my preference. I've been involved in appointments like that before, and that's always kind of, I thought, a nicer way of handling it. That's way, one, we could hopefully, if we could get a qualified base of candidates who would agree to that, kind of make quick work of the appointments so we can get back on to our regular business. So, but that's a topic for discussion. So then Trustee Trojan has a topic you'd like to bring to our attention.
Yes, I was reading, I saw an article in Wall Street Journal regarding, and again, it was private colleges, but they were tapping into restricted donor endowments in order to cover day-to-day operating expenses. And apparently there's like over 200 colleges around the United States who have been dipping in and obviously draining money that was intended for scholarships. So I asked Brittany, and she, of course, assured me that between her and the staff and the board, their board, that they're, in compliance. They would not give restricted money unless they go back to the donor to ask them. Of course, probably some are no longer alive, so I don't know what they do with there. But it just sort of got me to wonder whether we should have something a little bit more definite than just, yeah, we know we're not supposed to do that type of thing. I mean, we have plenty of policies for everything under the sun, so why not have a written policy? And in my view, even making it a criminal offense if the college, God forbid, decided to dip into restricted scholarship funds or even unrestricted scholarship funds. I don't think we're in that boat right now, but looking 5 years, maybe 10 years, who knows what. And I would just as soon have something really documented that, would be a criminal offense. So I'm bringing it to you for consideration.
Well, and oddly enough, it coincides, and I don't mean to poke fun at you about this, with the internal auditor discussion, because it was an internal and external auditors that caught the violations in the article that you were describing. So it's a perfect example of somebody working on our behalf with our chief financial officer in his offices to make sure that we are in compliance with our own policies and state laws and the like. And my question to Ellen right now is there even a mechanism where we could dip into restricted or unrestricted funds? We already have an answer saying we've never done it.
We have not done it, and I am not aware of a mechanism by which we could dip into restricted endowment funds.
Yeah, I don't even know how we would, break open the piggy bank, because it's in a separate,
Isn't it already illegal? Can you just speak to that? Because if it is, and we break the law, we're already subject to.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, the restricted funds, I think that's an accounting term. And so there may be certain grant funding where the grant prohibits use outside that, or if there's a specific donation agreement that restricts those funds. So I don't think there's a clear, it's per se illegal. It would depend on each designated use of those funds. I don't know if.
One of the examples that the article that he sent us provided was from a Quincy college in Illinois that dipped into on the order of $6 million or something like that. And their auditor found it and said, hey, you can't do this. So retroactively agree that you couldn't do it, but then I wasn't even quite sure what they did to fix it, because if they needed the $6 million, where do you come up with it right away? So I don't know if they got charged or sued, but it seems to me that if the auditor caught it, it violated standard auditing practices. So I don't know if it's like let's put them in jail type of thing, or you have to make the funds whole, I guess, back to the original source. But I don't know how you do that if you're already short the cash. So
Well, it could be a breach of the board's duties if
Right.
they approved that, and in which case I think Quincy's a private college, I'm pretty positive, and maybe your E&O policy would make that
Right.
whole. I mean, there's a number of ways that could apply.
Oh, the bonding or the insurance or the, yeah.
But it's already, if it's a part of the administrative procedures or under board policies, the auditor would already be able to catch that. So we could just request the auditor to review it each year, the external auditor that we use, and then if you decide to do an internal auditor, you can.
Like you wouldn't know
Check
that
it
you
in.
already dipped into the endowment fund? You would wait for the auditor to catch it?
So I just want to address, I have no access to the foundation funds.
Okay.
No direct access. Anytime that we have to move money for paying scholarships or anything that we do fund transfer requests, which are approved by the foundation's president is signed off on it, and I sign off on it. So that is the mechanism by which we move money between the college and the foundation, is those fund transfer agreements, and that's the only way we move money.
Do we know where Rick's getting that $6 million for the luxury condos he's building in Belvedere after he retires?
Must be from his other job.
All right, well, so thank you for bringing that to our attention, Bob. And again, a combination of an external and an internal auditor together could have brought this, but what your goal would be, in mind too, is that it would never get to that point, that our own policies and practices and personnel wouldn't even do it. Now, from what I'm hearing here, shoot. I should just hand over control to the meeting today, right now. Ellen, I am so sorry, would have, doesn't even know the mechanism of the control, so having a flashback here to 19-something, so I got to get out of here. All right, so I don't have any other new business. Any other new business?
Yes, one more. It's regarding Growth Dimensions Economic Development's 2026 Annual Reception. The reception will be held on Wednesday, September 2nd. The location will be Community Building Complex of Boone County. The networking reception starts at 5 p.m. The evening will feature networking, dinner, community recognition, and a keynote presentation from Robert Liskey, Senior Director of Operations and General Manager of Walmart Distribution Center. The college has purchased a table and is inviting trustees to participate. Currently, Trustee Trojan has signed up. Other trustees, if you are interested, again, just let Ann Korwitz know, RSVP through her, and we'll add you to the table. We do it every year. It's a pretty good event, and they're usually within that time frame, about a 12-hour event. Just let us know.
No, it's a good presence to have since we have ATC right there in their backyard, and they were one of the group that came out to greet me when I first walked through the empty Shopko building, so they're an important partner.
Well, the other new business was I honored my commitment to Dr. Smith by bringing new readers, so I didn't skip over anything on the agenda, but then I screw up staff's name, so I apologize for that. Each meeting I'll get a little bit better, then I'll be done, so. I'd like to announce that the next regular Board of Trustees meeting, August 25th, 2026, 5:15 p.m. meeting will be held in the PAR right here on this campus. Next committee of the whole is September 8th, 2026 at 5 p.m. The meeting will be held in the Performing Arts Room here at the Educational Resource Center on the main campus. I'd entertain a motion to go into closed session to discuss collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees per Section 2C2, all in accordance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act.
So moved.
Motion by Bob Trojan. Seconded by Gloria Cadilla. Roll call.
Simpson, yes. Trojan,
Yes.
Padilla,
Yes.
Ortiz, Espinoza,
Yes.
and Gorski.
Yes. Who would you like into the?
Dr. Huntley, Ellen Olson, Dr. Smith, and of course, Attorney Matt Gardner. And Raz?
You might be right, Gloria. There might be something. recording? Somebody give me a wave, a thumb. I see a thumb, okay. Not a finger, but a thumb, appreciate it. So, we didn't come to any decisions or decide any, we didn't vote on anything, as is typical, which is expected. So we've reconvened into open, and I would now entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting tonight.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Bob Trojan, seconded by Gloria Cadilla. Roll call.
Simpson, yes. Trojan,
Yep.
Padilla,
Yes.
Ortiz Espinoza,
Yes.
and Gorski.
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned.
Burger time. I'm hungry for
Man.
Five Guys.
It was a video game. So she didn't actually take an AI class. She took a class in 1980s video game.